Welcome to the Focus on Why podcast. I'm Amy Rowlandson and I ask my guests one simple question. Why? Focusing on the importance of why, I share with you the relatable, uplifting and inspiring conversations I have with people from all walks of life. This podcast will encourage you to focus on your why to enable and empower you to achieve the success you desire. Have a purpose, have a plan, focus on why. Today on the Focus on Why podcast, I am joined by Angela Rigby. Angela, welcome.
Oh, nice to be here, Amy. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I am very, very excited to share this episode with everybody. Tell us what it is you do, Angela.
So what do? So I help people with physical problems. It could be an ache, it could be a pain, or it could be something more chronic. I also help people with emotional problems. So it could be stress, it could be anxiety. It could be a phobia, a fear, or addiction, helping people to relax and just have peace of mind. They can have a series of treatments to help resolve what they're going through, or they can learn it for themselves. It's called Pranic Healing. So I'm a Pranic Healing therapist.
Now, just tell us what Pranic Healing is, because I'd never heard about it before I met you a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, sure. So the best way to describe it is we have a physical body, but we also have like an energetic component to it as well. So you can call it an energy system or an energy body. And so it surrounds the physical body. And normally, we have energy flowing through us all the time. We're drawing in energy into this energy system, if you like. But sometimes we might get an injury, might get a bruise or something might happen, and we get some sort of congestion will go to the area. So think of it as just like a greyish sort of cloudy energy, if you like. It will sit there. Now your body is trying to do the healing. The body heals all the time, but that congestion is preventing energy from flowing into the area. So by using the system we use, there are certain sort of techniques that you can use. You can actually remove that congested energy, allow fresh energy, or prana as we call it, which is the name prana comes from, to flow to the area. It nourishes the area, and then the healing process can be accelerated. So you're accelerating the healing process of the body, and it can help with all physical, emotional and mental health.
So as you're describing this, it's sort of ringing a bell a bit. It's something that I've probably heard about, and it's something that I think has been used for sort of centuries or thousands of years in sort of Chinese practices. Is that right?
Absolutely. Healing, people hear the word healing and sometimes put all sorts of connotations to it, but it's been there for years and for centuries. It's ancient. So Pranic Healing was actually founded by a gentleman called Master Choa Kok Sui. He was Chinese Filipino. So he was an engineer. He was a scientist, a humanitarian, a philanthropist, and from a very early age, he looked into energy. Everything is energy. Looked at all different modalities and healing techniques that were around, and then formulated what we now know as Pranic Healing. So it came out in 1987. So it really is a science of healing. It's a system of techniques and mechanisms and applications and principles that were studied. Master Choa studied them, and over a 30-year period until we have what we have today. So it only took 10 years to get into 30 countries, and it's taken 30 years to get into 126 countries. And it's used all around the world now by people from all walks of life that are understanding that, there are more ways out there to help the healing process of the body. So it really is bringing together sort of an Eastern and Western approach. So, when you work hand in hand, you really do get some absolutely incredible results.
And you mentioned that he was an engineer, and so it's a nice combination of the science and the spiritual sense of it as well.
No, absolutely. And a lot of the leading teachers in Pranic Healing, including Les Flitcroft, who's the UK director of the Institute of Pranic Healing, he was also an engineer, as was the leading teacher, Master Ko, over in the States as well. So very, very analytical brains, and that's what I like about the system. It's not blindly taught. You have the information given to you, and it's a lot about experimenting and validating for yourself. It's just being open-minded to the fact that there are lots and lots of things out there, and even the meditation side of it as well. We have the therapy, but the meditation side, meditation on twin hearts, is now scientifically proven. So it's gone into journals, and the benefits of that alone are phenomenal. Rapidly reducing stress and anxiety, bringing on more positive emotions, giving you that inner peace and calm, which most of us probably need at the moment during lockdown. It helps with focus, and it helps with just being able to decipher information a lot quicker and easier as well. So it's an incredible system, and the science is there behind it. Yeah.
And is it something that you've been practicing all your life, or have you recently discovered it?
So I discovered it back in 2007. It really was a chance conversation that I had. It wasn't anything that I was looking for at that time in my life. I did have a bit of a bad back going on, and I was going down traditional routes to just try and find comfort from the injury. It really was just a Sunday afternoon. It was a conversation, and it was actually my cousin who actually is now one of the instructors with the Institute of Pranic Healing, and he told me that he'd been over to the States, that he'd done this course, and I have to admit, I just looked at him and I thought, it sounded strange, because he explained to me that it was non-touch, and that it could really help with my back and that. So I was really, really skeptical. And I just thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. I've tried so many things. Why don't I just give it a go? And I can't tell you the difference it made. Immediately felt a feeling of just relaxation. It was so soothing, and I could feel almost like a tingling sensation up and down my back, and the pain went literally in that short session. So I was just blown away, really. And from there, I just got curious, and he'll remember me just driving him mad and saying to him, "What are you doing? How are you doing that? You're just moving your hands around, and why are you spraying that spray?" I had all these questions. And this continued for a little while, and he started taking me along to the meditation on twin heart groups with Les Flitcroft. And after a while, he just said, "Angela, it's a weekend course. It can potentially change your life. Why don't you just go and try it?" So that's what I did, and I've not looked back.
And for all those out there that are thinking, this, I'm feeling a bit skeptical about this. Even an open-minded person is probably like, non-touch, spraying water. How does this work?
Yeah, but it's not water, actually. Just to clarify,
Yes.
It's actually alcohol-based, which
sounds good.
Everything's got a reason. And all I would say, and I've seen this in the time I've been doing this, so over 10 years, is just saying to people, you can only experience it for yourself. So that is really the starting point. You discover, you hear about something new. If you then go and experience it, you can make up your own mind about it. So I have nothing to prove to anyone. I would just say, if it feels right for you, if you're looking for help with your health, physical, emotional health, if you're looking for help with your relationships, with your finances, everything is energy. It can really, really, really help you. So just try it, give it a go, and decide. Don't take my word for it.
And you say it's non-touch, and you can also do this through a Zoom call.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're working on the energy system. So it's understanding that there is an anatomy. So we have this energetic system that is made up of energy centers, or motors, if you like, that are drawing in and expelling out energy all the time. I mean, Einstein said everything is energy. So every energy is all around us. So this is what's happening. It's like this anatomy. So in Pranic Healing, you learn about the hidden laws of nature. You learn about the anatomy of the energy system, and you're taught how to scan. So you're taught how to feel this energy system. So when you get a certain sensitivity, it's like learning a new skill. It's like learning to drive, or it's like learning to play a piano. You're just methodically taken through all the steps, and then you practice. It's a skill. So you get sensitive to sort of scanning and feeling this energy, and then you're taught how to cleanse and how to re-energize again as well. So it's only when you start doing it, your mind is going to question it to start with. Your mind certainly did. But once you go through the process, once you take the course and you've got the knowledge, it's getting the knowledge. It's just clearing your mind. I mean, this is the thing. Your mind refers to what you already know, and if you don't know something, it's not there in your library of thoughts, if you like. And yeah, so that's the way forward.
So I was a little bit skeptical, and I'm very open-minded, and I thought, okay, well, let's just give it a go. So Angela actually took me through the whole process, and a very short session. It was about 20 minutes or so. And I had identified that I had some problem with breathing. I feel like I had COVID early, although I have not had it sort of proven yet, but early on in lockdown, right before we had to go into a sort of isolation, we had to self-isolate because my husband and I were poorly, and I had a very tight chest, and that was going on 3 months ago. So I said to Angela, please could you think about this area for me and see if that, and I have to say my breathing has really improved since then. Is that possible?
No, absolutely. So because the system is very systematic, so we have protocols and treatments for absolutely everything. So we would follow through a particular order of doing things. So initially, when we did that treatment, it was a relaxation session. So that's what I was doing to start with, just to help relieve any sort of stress from the body, because stress can be, an underlying cause of so many ailments and conditions. Think of it as that energy system just getting clogged up. Your body's trying to heal, but it's clogged up. So we're starting the process really by taking away the stress energy to allow the body to adjust, to relax. And if you imagine that energy system a bit like a container, that then just allows for fresh energy to be drawn in. So that straight away is starting to nourish your system and to act as a bit of a catalyst for the natural healing process. I then work specifically on your lungs. As I said at the start, if you have a congestion in the area, that's what's sitting there. It's sort of just a greyish, used up energy that's sat there. So using the techniques of pranic healing, I was able to remove that congested energy, which then allows the lungs to fill up with fresh energy, and then the natural healing process will continue. So that you get that initial release, there's something called lag time. So over the next sort of few days and few hours, that healing process, the natural healing process of the body, would have continued. So, and that really, we did that in 10 minutes, didn't we? So a normal treatment would be about 45, a little bit longer. So we'd work on other areas as well.
It was really, really interesting, and obviously, I don't think actually I've sat down and had that much time. Just I'm not someone who meditates usually, and I think actually it's probably something I should bring into my daily sort of routine, because I don't stop, and I think just stopping and having that time with you was really good as well. So
Yeah, I think it's really important, especially now while we're all going through lockdown. There's so much stress and tension around as well. And also with our minds, there's so much over imagination going on that is then creating fear and creating worry. And I think now is a good time to pause and to reflect. And if you can start to build in a daily habit of self-care, you're going to give yourself tools and techniques that are just going to help you through through the lockdown and beyond. And it's about building in that self-development, that self-care routine of things that are going to help you. And meditation is huge. I mean, people talk about meditation and say, oh, I can't meditate. They put all sorts of connotations around what the word actually means, but meditation simply means concentration and awareness. So whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're concentrating on, 9 times out of 10, that's a worry or a concern. That's what you're meditating on. So we tend to build up these negative thoughts and negative emotions and worries until they congest the system. So by using specific positive words and positive tones in meditation, such as Twin Hearts, you can systematically flush out that congestion of the mind.
That's incredible. And you mentioned earlier about the hidden laws of nature that you referenced with Einstein. Explain a bit more about that and how that works with what you're doing.
So everything is energy. So in pranic healing, you are taught to draw this life force. So prana, I mean, we use the word energy all the time, don't we? We sort of say, oh, I'm full of energy, or I haven't got enough energy, or we say, oh, that person's drained the life out of me. We have a sort of an energy transfer going on. So the word energy or life force, we're referring to it as prana, which is a Sanskrit word. So the Chinese would refer to it as chi, so as in Tai Chi. The Japanese would refer to it as ki, as in Reiki or Aikido. So we're acknowledging that there is this energy, this life force that's all around us, and it's this energy that is sustaining us. We couldn't survive a second of the day without it. And so when you understand there's life force, and then you understand that you have an energy system and that it's drawing in and expelling out energy all the time, that's sort of the basis of what we're doing. So you learn how to absorb energy, and you learn how to project it between people. And I suppose if you think about it, if you are around some people, they will make you feel uplifted, so because we absorb energy from each other. This transfer of energy is going on all the time. And it's the same the other way. You may be around some people that are a bit negative, and you might feel quite drained by the end of the day. You might feel quite tired and fatigued, even if you've just been sitting down in their company, maybe just listening to them speak. So yeah.
I know what you're saying. You can walk into a room and there might be a couple of people in there, and they're not talking or not doing anything, but you just sense that energy in there, that either they've had an argument or something's happened, or that they've just stopped talking and it wasn't good. And you can feel that, that is definitely there. And without even looking at them, you just walk into the room and feel that. So I kind of know, and the reverse can be true as well. You can, if they're trying to keep a secret and something really exciting has just happened, and they're just sort of quiet, and you can just sense it. So I do, yeah, I get
absolutely. And that's it. Sort of, like you say, we say you can cut the air with a knife when you go into a building, but it's not the building creating the atmosphere, it is the people and what you're radiating out. So key is to understand that if we can take a bit more responsibility for what we radiate out, it's going to affect everybody around us. We can have a lot more happiness and just feel a lot more calmer and more relaxed around people. And that's why it's important to build in that self-care, that routine yourself, so that you're taking responsibility for what you're bringing to your family, your friends, and to your work colleagues as well.
So going back 13 years and having this chance conversation with your cousin, what were you doing at the time?
Something completely different. So I'd had a career in the city, and then just went into the restoration industry. So we'd bought a franchise in the fire and flood restoration industry. So I was dealing with people whose lives had been turned upside down by fire, by flood, by accidental damage. I mean, I had that business for 14 years, and it was a very relentless, pressured, stressful business to be in. And at times it was traumatic. It really was hard. I was bringing the children up at the same time as well, trying to compartmentalize my life. And at times it was just, I was completely burnt out, really tired a lot of the time, really fatigued. I just felt that I was just like everything was whirling all the time. My mind was never quiet. I was constantly on edge because it was a 24-hour day business. You never knew when the phones were going to ring or something was going to kick off. And I couldn't relax, and my energy levels just completely were gone a lot of the time. So it was really through that meeting. And I mean, at the time it was 2007. So you might remember the country was actually going through a flood, lots of floods. We had like thousands and thousands of properties had been affected. It was just such a tough time. And that conversation led me into the Twin Hearts meditation, and slowly I was able to just have so much more energy back. My physical strength returned, emotionally a lot calmer. I had clarity, and I could really cope with all these claims that were just passing through my desk and through the business, and my energy levels just skyrocketed. That conversation and leading me into that changed everything in my life.
That's really interesting. And you've mentioned this a few times, the Twin Hearts meditation, and that it's been scientifically proven. Explain a bit more about that.
So the Twin Hearts meditation, yes, it's what we use. I mean, we use it all sort of around the world now as well. It's actually a meditation, loving kindness meditation. So it's actually based on a prayer. I think people hear the word prayer as well, and they just sort of think, oh, it's religious, but a prayer is words, and words are vibrations, and certain vibrations can have a very sort of positive effect on you, and they can actually help to displace and to break down sort of negative stress energies within you. So what I like about this particular meditation is it starts by getting you to think of a happy event in your life. So really gets you thinking positively to start with. So it gets you to start just recalling those thoughts and those emotions. So it's called Twin Hearts because it's based on two what we would call energy centers, so a heart energy center and what we call a crown energy center. So you're starting by almost like activating those sort of feelings within you to start with, and then it's a very blessing meditation. So once you've thought of your happy events and you're bringing that up as well, you're then saying the prayer, hearing the prayer recited by Master Choa, and you bless the earth. So it's in giving that you receive. So what's tending to happen is that as you're sort of hearing the words, it's all about turning negatives into positives, but the mechanics behind it are drawing in energy. So it's like you're drawing in energy, and it's got an amazing flushing out effect on the system. So if you are feeling stressed and uptight, everything's energy, including stress. So stress is an energy that is sitting within your energy system. So the beauty of the Twin Hearts is that it will just have this lovely flushing out effect, and then by the end of it, you just have this feeling of like inner peace and inner calm, and yeah, it's just totally relaxing. And anyone can listen to it. Through lockdown, my teacher, Les Flitcroft, has been running online sessions as well, along with some of the other instructors. So as long as you've got Zoom, you can just, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, jump on and experience it for yourself. So if you've not tried it, that would be one of my top tips is experience Twin Hearts meditation.
And something that we spoke about before when I first met you is that you help people in sports.
Yes, I have an interest in sport. There's a couple of elements to that as well. So I was fortunate enough to work with a runner in the 24-hour GB ultra running team. So I got to go over to Spain with her, and she was just incredible. She did understand about energy, so we're working together on that as well. And she actually managed to run 250 miles non-stop in an unsupported race. She didn't sleep. So she just understood the physical and the mental side of it as well. So we were doing pranic healing with her to help her. So you can use it. You can use it to manage your injuries. So, and obviously, if you're running for that amount of time, you need to be able to cope with blisters and all the different things that potentially can happen when you're an ultra runner. And it can help you to just really still your mind at the start. It's just incredible, to have that stillness and to be able to have that focus and to be this heat-seeking missile to just go forward towards the target is incredible. And then to be able to naturally boost energy throughout the duration of an ultra race is just an amazing feat. In that particular race, she won it. She was 10 hours ahead of the second place male, and she did it in like 68 hours 40 minutes, and she was 10 hours ahead. So that was one event. There was a number of events, and then the 24-hour one was over in Barcelona with the actual team there as well. And just even the next day when the team were getting back on, I mean, Karen was the one that was having the healing, and she could move, she could walk. It was just incredible, and her recovery was just amazing. But we've also got Prana Sports as well. So we're a group of therapists that set up Prana Sports a few years ago. So we made a decision that we'd like to run 10K races, but there had to be a reason. We wanted to raise money for charity. So there's a charity called MCKS Charitable Foundation UK, who are affiliated with the institute. So the goal was to run 10Ks until we'd raised £10,000. So we were complete non-runners. We just did it from a standing start, but we incorporated the tools and techniques that we had to an amazing results. And 4 races later, we'd raised the money.
That's fantastic. And I love the fact that someone is willing at the top of their game to embrace something new, to make a difference to their whole profession, their sporting talent. And I mean, 10 hours, that's incredible.
It is absolutely phenomenal. And you talk in sport about having the marginal gain. What's the thing that's going to give you the
Yeah.
difference? You know, I've also helped the race across America as well, a team with that, helping them with the cycling. And it is when you understand that you can have on the spot help through injury, with injury, if you've got an injury, on the spot help, you can just apply pranic healing to it as well. And to be able to just boost the energy levels is just phenomenal. And recovery, to help you recover so much quicker, especially if you are at elite level, you're going from one game to another. And if you're a team player, you need to be back in that team really quickly. I treated a young footballer recently with ACL ligament. So he'd actually torn the ligament and had it repaired, and then he ruptured it again 2 years later. First time round, he didn't have pranic. Second time round, he did have pranic healing, and he'd torn the meniscus as well. A physiotherapist couldn't believe how quickly he had got back. I think we worked on it. He had about 8 treatments and was back up, working out, cycling, then back driving again. And yeah, absolutely phenomenal rate of recovery. And it's tennis elbow. That's another one that I've helped with as well. So lots and lots of different ones.
And for any of those who are still skeptical about it and thinking, oh, but it's probably just the placebo effect, they think that there's something happening. Is there an element of being willing to allow this to happen that will help with the energy?
Absolutely, yeah. I think if the more open-minded you are, the more it's just going to help the actual healing process and the energy flowing that as well. And when you sort of you can get over that. I mean, we talk about the mind a lot. I mean, the mind. What is mind? The mind is just like a computer processing data. So the data of the mind are your thoughts and emotions. I mean, we've been having these thoughts since the day we've been born. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They never leave us. So these thoughts are housed within the energy system. And so if you're full of like negative thoughts and doubts and worries and concerns, it can taint sort of finding out and knowing about other things. And the Chinese say, don't they, that if your cup's full, nothing else can go in. If your mind's full, no more knowledge can go in. So if you empty your cup, empty your mind, and just be open-minded, but don't blindly believe. Just try and experience it for yourself.
So how could people sort of get in touch with you, or get this to work for them?
No, absolutely. So if you go to the website, so I'm trained through the Institute of Pranic Healing UK and Ireland, and they run courses and seminars and workshops, and we have the meditation groups. I mean, normally when we're not in lockdown, they're running physically, but go online and try those out as well, and you will just find this whole world of energy waiting for you. I say my teacher Les Flitcroft was a direct student of Master Choa Kok Sui, and he's a phenomenal man. He's very humble. He'll help everyone, and it's just to know him is just incredible. And he's changed my life. He's helped me in so many different ways. And I would just say, just go take one of the courses. All the instructors will be up and running again, hopefully July time or whenever we're allowed to be out there again. And we've got them all over the country, over in Ireland as well, also over in Gibraltar. There's lots and lots of opportunities to get involved. Look up your local pranic healing therapist, look up your local meditation groups, and you'll find a wealth of help there for you.
And I can see how it's helped you. And why is it important for you to be a pranic healer?
Because I've been helped so much in my life, and I just want to tell everyone about it. It's just, for me, helping people to improve their physical health and their mental health, and the joy you get when you see the changes in people's lives is just amazing. I mean, I've been fortunate to help people with lots of different things, even through cancer, through MS, through just difficult times in their life, relationship issues, trauma. Just this week as well, I actually helped there was actually a friend's daughter went into labour, and you can actually help through that process as well. So if you can help the birthing process from afar, which sounds amazing, but that's what happened.
Well, I could have done with that for about 17 or 15 years ago, that's for sure.
Yeah, me too. But there's been many babies born as a result of having help and having treatments as well. So you know, the scope for helping everyone is massive, and that's what I like about it as well. It doesn't matter if whether you're pregnant, whether it's a newborn baby, or right the way through to the elderly. There's no contraindication to it. You can be helped.
Fantastic. And how would people connect with you, Angela?
So they can connect with me via the website. So I'm listed as on the website there as well. So www.ukpranichealing.co.uk. I'm listed under the Find a Healer on social media as well. So Angela Rigby PH on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, nice easy handle. It's the same one. And LinkedIn.
I'll make sure they all go in the show notes anyway, so it'll all be there. And do you have a final message for the audience today?
Final message would be positive thoughts. Just say that word to yourself. Look up, have positive thoughts. We're going through a lot of stuff at the moment, but there is always a new beginning. It's just how your mind is and how you see things, but positive thoughts.
Thank you for listening to the Focus on Why podcast. I'm Amy Rowlandson, and if you've enjoyed this episode, please leave me a 5-star Apple Podcast review. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram and Facebook, and become a member of my inspiring, uplifting and positive Focus on Why Facebook group. I help people to focus on their why with clarity, uniting their passion with their purpose with a plan, to create the life they truly desire. If you would like me to help you focus on your why, then please book a free 20-minute coaching call via calendly.com/Amy Rowlandson. And if you haven't already, please sign up for the Friday Focus weekly newsletter via my website, amyrowlandson.com. Have a purpose, have a plan, focus on why.